The numbers to call remain 07095944836, 08092444955. Don't forget to tweet at us at HeatFM using the hashtag Mbmt show. Okay, we have a caller. Hello? Hello? Hello, good morning. Who is speaking, please, and where are you calling from? Hello? Okay, we lost that caller. Hello? Okay, we'll just go straight back to the show. Hello? Hello? We'll try our best to pick up your calls, okay? So, back to the show, sir. How can a small fish farmer or a vegetable farmer in Nigeria go beyond borders?
Okay, let's start with the fish farmer.
Okay, sir. We
have a caller.
Yeah, we have a caller. Hello. Good morning. Who is speaking and where are you calling from? Okay. Hi, John. Can you go straight to your question and reduce the volume of your radio set? Okay, you have to listen and call right back, please. Okay, we have another caller. Hello? Yeah. Hello, good morning. Who is speaking and where are you calling from, please? Okay. Hello, Silas. You can go ahead with your question. Okay, Silas, repeat. You've got to listen and call back with the question. Hello? Hello? Okay. So, sir, we were on the question, how can a small fish farmer or a vegetable farmer in Nigeria go beyond borders?
Thank you. So, we're looking at a fish farmer in Nigeria. Let's say this fish farmer has ponds of fish and, really is growing some nice, awesome fish in his ponds and needs customers and would like to showcase what he's doing. Now, where would he start from? I would say let's now apply some local, let's call it social media marketing. Now, that's a component of online marketing. Before I jump into that, I would like to say that we're in the 21st century. 21st century is the age of the knowledge worker. It means that all of us small business people, and I'm one of them, I've been a small business person. I started business 2 years out of school with nothing. And I've essentially been involved in business ever since with nothing really. So I understand the small business person. So this is the age of the knowledge worker. It means that you must be learning continuously. So the small business person has to learn. He has to understand that it's a digital age. He has to understand that he needs to learn some of these things to be able to move his business forward. He has to be a serious and focused business person. He now needs to change his orientation because many of us use social media to put the latest photos of ourselves. We take a selfie and we put it up and so on. You can still do that, but then you can now create a profile for your business. Maybe we should call it John Farms. John yes. Good enough. Or,
John and Sons Limited.
John and Sons Limited. John and Sons Limited Fish Farm.
Yes.
So John has all sorts of fantastic fish he's growing in his fish farm, and he wants to showcase that farm and he wants to put it out there. What can he do? Depending on how much progress he has made, he can use social media to do a couple of things. Number one, he can capture. What he wants to do really is to generate some interest yes. or some enthusiasm, some prospective customers, or what we say in marketing, leads okay. for his business. So I would advise that John learns a little bit on how to do some social media. It's not really very difficult, but if he can't do it by himself, he can speak to some local consultants who can help. But what he needs to do it would be great for him to have a website, simple, basic website. He will now have a social media profile for his business. Now, in social media marketing, there's an unwritten rule that we do. We have a 70-20-10 rule. 70% of the posts that you make as a business person should be posts that can educate or benefit or interest your prospective clientele. You know, for instance, he can do a very simple presentation and post it up there, maybe just 5 pages on different types of fish. What's the difference? He has to give it a title that would make it salesy.
Or the benefits of fish
yes,
to the health.
Yes, you know, fish is actually the best type of protein.
Yes.
Yes. So he does a little thing about that, and then he now delves in a little bit and speaks about different types of fish and how they differ from each other and everything. He takes some pictures and he puts that on, and then he actually puts that presentation on his website. Mm-hmm. He puts a bit of a slide of it on his profile, and he asks people to click a button that will take them to his website. When they get to the website, what they need to do really is to just download that presentation.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Who is speaking, please, and where are you calling from?
My name is Samuel, calling from Italy.
Hello, Samuel. Can you go ahead with your question?
Yes, I am a businessman.
Okay.
I am a fashion designer, and I also have a publisher.
Okay.
So I wanted to know how I can go far with this business. How can I make it to be known by everybody?
Okay.
Okay, Samuel, we're talking about fish now, but it equally applies to poultry, because poultry is some of the best kind of meat you can eat. Poultry is white meat, which is better than red meat, better than beef, and so on, that in terms of health. So you can actually use that to educate your prospective customers, draw customers to you by showcasing what poultry can do for them in terms of health. Why it's better to eat poultry than to eat beef or to eat other types of meats and so on. So a little bit of research, and you put together something very simple. Always use graphics, you know, so you're educating your prospective customers.
Pictures.
With pictures, yeah. And then you just have bullet points. No, I'm not talking about anything very detailed or very tedious. Something that anybody will see and appreciate, and with a glance of an eye, just know what you're talking about very quickly.
You know, using the fish to make a favorite dish, would attract people a lot. People like food, and the likes. So I was actually going to ask you, how could somebody, a business person, use his smartphone? What application has he got to download on his phone, to drive markets to his? Well,
we're talking about social media marketing, and we're talking about websites as well. And we are saying that all these sites are actually mobile optimized as well. In other words, you don't even have to have a full computer to have a website. You can actually use your phone, and you just make sure that your site is optimized for mobile phones and appears properly there, and so on. Essentially, what you would do is that you would allow people to download this form, but before they do that, they would have to give you their information, their names, their address, their email address, their telephone numbers, and so on. So essentially, you give them beneficial information and you capture their information, and they become a prospective customer. What has happened is that you have actually filtered out your prospective customers, and you have leads now, people who are interested in your kind of business, because they took the pain and the trouble to see what you were presenting, come all the way from your social media page to your website, downloaded your presentation, shows that they're interested in poultry or they're interested in buying poultry. And then in that your presentation, you probably towards the end of the presentation, you now showcase your business. I was talking about this 70-20-10 rule, and it says that 70% of the posts that you should put out there.
Let's take a call. We'll come back. Hello? Go on, Mr. Odo.
Okay, 70% of the posts that you put out there should be things to educate your prospects, which you have managed to put together from your research and other market information. 20% can be articles from other sources. That's articles that other people have read or have written, but are relevant to what you're doing. maybe you saw a very nice article and you downloaded it, and you can also use that. And then 10% should be your own actual selling information, your actual information that enables your customers to buy from you. Because if you just put on your Facebook page, my fish, it's this is how it looks, this is how much it costs, you're going to drive away a lot of people. So you need to think strategically and kind of actually filter out those who are interested. That's your leads. And then when you capture their information, you can follow them up, invite them to your store. So that's a nice place to start off with, increasing your customer base and doing business without borders.
Okay. So there's a saying, think global, act local. Can you talk more on that? How can we think global and act local?
Yes, and this is something that I was confronted with recently. I actually read a book that was incidentally given to me by my pastor. It was written by a Ghanaian pastor. And in that book, the author said that the challenge with many African businesses is the way the African entrepreneurs think. But African businesses, our African entrepreneurs are not thinking global. So the starting point as entrepreneurs is to think.
Hello? I'm so sorry, guys. Hello? Hello? Okay, the phone numbers to call are 0700-95944836, 080-92444955. Hello? Hello, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay. Can we take a question? Okay. You have got to listen and call back in, please. Okay, Mr. Odo.
Yes, I was saying that African businesses have the potential to be as dominant as any other business in the world. It doesn't have to be Microsoft. It doesn't have to be Google. It doesn't have to be Apple. It can be our own local African brand. But the starting point is for our own business people to think that they can have a global effect. If they don't think in that way, then they don't stand any chance. And so we need to change our thinking first and foremost. We need to have a vision that is global. We need to know that innovative products and technologies and African businesses can dominate markets in Europe, in North America, in South America, in Asia, and why not? Let me give you an example. There's actually an African product called M-Pesa, in mobile money product that is used in Kenya, and it's a truly innovative product. It's used by almost even farmers in Kenya, to do every kind of transaction. Wow. And it's been exported into Asia. It's the most successful product of its kind in the world.
Wow.
So that's just an example of an African product, an African technology that is actually taking over the world. But the first thing is to have a vision that's global, and there's no reason why we cannot. Our churches are actually doing it successfully. Nigerian churches especially have launched many branches in different parts of the world. Why can't African businesses do the same? We have to think in that way first and foremost.
Start thinking.
Yeah. So think global and then act local. Start small. Dangote today is dominating Africa and probably will dominate markets globally shortly. But he started local and has grown phenomenally. It's an example, and I'm sure that many others can follow.
So, sir, in all of this, do you still think there's any disadvantage to the use of technology in business?
Disadvantage to the use of technology?
Could there be any? Could there be anything we should watch out for?
Well, the obvious disadvantage really is security, because technology actually amplifies what you have. It gives you the capacity to do more. It means that it also gives the criminals the capacity to do more. And so security is very, very important in the use of technology. And anybody who is using technology for business has to consider security as well, because the more you trade globally and the more you extend your borders in using technology to trade, the greater the capacity for fraud to come to play.
All right, Mr. Odo Effiong, thank you so much for coming to the show. Do you have any last word for us?
My last words are: technology is inevitable. Those who would succeed in the 21st century are those who embrace technology, apply it to their businesses. Think global, yes. Act local. Well, they say think big, start small, scale fast. I have an example of a local business, a local person actually, that put together a product, a technology product, and actually sold to a company, an overseas company, for several $100 million. This is a business that was owned by a classmate, the younger brother of a classmate of mine, a technology product. And I'm sure we're going to see much more of that from Nigeria going forward.
Okay.
So the ball is in our court.
We'll be waiting. All right. Thank you so much for sharing great insights with us today. We do appreciate. All right, people. We've been talking a lot on business without borders. Next week, a top CEO, Wall Street banker, and entrepreneur, best-selling author from the USA will be calling in next week to talk to us about entrepreneurs and nation building. Remember to drop your comments and contributions on Facebook with www.facebook.com/SSEDC or tweet at us at CBNSSEDC. To watch our videos from the show, visit www.youtube.com/SouthSouthEDC or email us at info@ssedc.org for more information. For sponsorship and advert booking, please call Blessing Afan on 080-3111-9692. Till next week, remember, never limit yourself, think beyond your current borders and geography. Stay tuned as the Morning Breakfast Show with Ima continues. It's over to you, Ima.
I hope you guys learned a lot, because I knew that